In a small, cozy town where the streets were lined with cobblestones and little houses with smoke curling from chimneys, there lived a girl named Ella. She was called Cinderella by some, though no one could have guessed why yet, except that she spent her days dusted with a little ash from tending the hearth and cleaning the house. Ella had warm brown eyes that seemed to glow with kindness, a gentle smile that could lift the gloomiest of moods, and hair that shone like chestnut in the sunlight. She lived with her stepmother and two stepsisters, who were hardly ever kind. Her stepmother was a woman whose face rarely smiled, and her stepsisters, Annie and Bella, were loud, fussy, and always concerned with looking better than anyone else. Ella's days began early, with the smell of bread baking in the kitchen and the sounds of the town waking outside her window. She would sweep the floors, wash the dishes, scrub the hearth, and polish the windows until they sparkled. Her stepsisters would giggle and twirl in front of the mirror, while her stepmother inspected everything Ella did with a critical eye. Yet Ella never complained. She had learned to find joy in small things, a warm loaf of bread, the song of birds outside her window, or the quiet moments when the sun touched her face. She believed that being kind and patient was more important than anger or resentment. One morning, a letter arrived sealed with the king's crest. Ella's stepsisters tore it open, squealing with excitement. The king was holding a grand ball at the palace. All young women in the kingdom were invited so that the prince could meet them. Annie and Bella immediately began plotting which gowns to wear, how to curl their hair, and which ribbons matched their shoes. Ella's stepmother smirked at her. "You, going to a ball? Don't make me laugh," she said, and waved her away. Ella quietly helped her stepsisters prepare, dusting the floor as they tried on dress after dress, tying their ribbons and fixing their hair. Her heart longed to see the palace, even for a moment. That evening, after the stepsisters had left, Ella sat alone by the fireplace, her chin resting on her hands. The night outside was calm, and the stars twinkled like tiny lanterns in the sky. A tear slid down her cheek, not of sadness exactly but of quiet longing. She wished she could dance at the ball, meet the prince, and feel, even for just a little while, like she belonged in a world outside ash and chores. As she whispered a small wish under her breath, a warm, shimmering light appeared before her. Startled, she blinked and saw a woman standing there, smiling with kind eyes and sparkling robes. "Ella," said the fairy godmother, her voice soft and comforting, "your kindness and patience have not gone unnoticed. Tonight you will go to the ball." With a gentle wave of her wand, Ella's plain dress transformed into a gown of soft, shimmering blue, dotted with sparkles that twinkled like stars. On her feet appeared delicate glass slippers, and outside, the pumpkin she had often cleaned near the garden turned into a beautiful golden carriage with wheels that sparkled in the moonlight. Ella's heart swelled with joy, though she hesitated. "But my chores, my home?" she asked softly. "Tonight forget all that. Enjoy yourself," said the fairy godmother. "Remember, the magic lasts only until midnight." At the palace, Ella felt like she had stepped into a dream. The chandeliers sparkled above, and the walls glimmered with gold. Music floated through the air, soft and lively. The prince, who had met many young women, noticed her immediately. There was something about the way she carried herself, gentle and calm, that drew him in. He asked her to dance, and as they moved across the floor, Ella felt as though she had always known him. They laughed at small jokes, shared stories about their childhoods, and for a time everything else faded away. Meanwhile, Annie and Bella danced with other young men, twirling and giggling, their steps occasionally clumsy in their excitement. Ella watched them with a quiet smile, realizing that she had no desire to compete or be noticed for her appearance. She simply wanted to enjoy the moment, to dance and be herself. But soon the clock began to chime. Ella remembered the fairy godmother's warning. With a quiet panic, she ran down the grand staircase, accidentally leaving one glass slipper behind. The prince, determined not to lose her, picked it up and promised to find the girl whose foot it fit, no matter what. Back home, life returned to its usual rhythm. Ella continued her chores with a quiet smile, her heart holding the memory of the ball. Days turned into weeks, and one morning, a royal carriage appeared at their doorstep. The prince, tall and kind-eyed, stepped out holding the glass slipper. One by one, the stepsisters tried it on, but their feet did not fit. Finally, Ella shyly stepped forward. With a quiet breath, she slipped her foot into the delicate slipper. It fit perfectly. The prince's eyes lit up. "You're the one," he said softly, taking her hand. Ella smiled, feeling the warmth of hope and happiness. She didn't feel triumph or anger toward her stepfamily. Instead, she simply thanked them for preparing her, even if they didn't know it. Ella became a princess, but she never let her heart change. She laughed, danced, and helped people in her kingdom, always remembering that kindness and patience had guided her through even the darkest days. She often visited the townsfolk, sharing bread, listening to children's stories, and teaching that a gentle heart could turn the smallest moments into magic. Even as a princess, Ella remembered the quiet moments by the fireplace, the songs of birds outside her window, and the joy of a clean, warm home. She knew that happiness wasn't about wealth or grandeur, but about living with a good heart, helping others, and finding joy in the little things. And so, Cinderella's story reminds us all: kindness and patience are always rewarded. Even when life seems unfair, keeping your heart open and gentle can lead to the most magical, unexpected, and beautiful moments imaginable.